Hi, what are the basics of the Bible? In this video, we're going to go over some of them, including a few that most people don't know. So you might be surprised at some of them. So take a few minutes and watch till the end. The Bible is actually a library of 66 books. And these books are divided in two parts, the Old Testament and the New Testament. The Old Testament was written before Jesus Christ came to earth, and the New Testament was written after Jesus Christ came to earth. The Old Testament is also called the Tanakh, or the Hebrew Bible. Generally, Jewish people who aren't Christians don't accept the writings of the New Testament because they don't see the Lord Jesus Christ as their Messiah. The Tanakh consists out of 24 books, which are the exact same as our 39 books of the Old Testament. The reason for the difference in the number of books is because several books are combined into one book in the Tanakh. The Tanakh, or the Old Testament, consists out of three parts. The first part is the Torah. The Torah is also called the Pentateuch in Greek. These are the 5 books written by Moses. They deal with how God created the world and everything in it. He created mankind who rebelled against God and had to wipe out the entire civilization through a worldwide flood. Then the Torah, or the law, shows how God chose Abraham to be the forefather of his nation Israel, which consisted out of 12 tribes. It shows how the Israelites went to Egypt, where after hundreds of years they were enslaved. Then God liberated them through his servant Moses, who also wrote the law or instructions in 613 commands. The Torah introduces many new subjects like marriage and government. So do read it. Therefore, it's vital to understand this very well. The next part of the Old Testament is the Nevi'im. This means the prophets. We can read here the story of the nation of Israel from the moment they started capturing the land of Canaan. We can read how the kings were chosen, the major one being King David, who was also the forefather of the Lord Jesus Christ. Then the nation of Israel split into 2 kingdoms, the southern kingdom, or Judah, and the northern kingdom, or Israel. The northern kingdom later on was taken into captivity by the Assyrians, who were extremely cruel, and the southern kingdom was taken to captivity by the Babylonians for about 70 years. Many books of the Nevi'im were combined into one book. For instance, the 12 minor prophets from Hosea to Malachi were one book called the Book of the 12. Finally, the last part of the Old Testament is the Ketuvim, or the writings. These are the books like the Psalms, Proverbs, etc. They end with the 2 books of the Chronicles in one book. Whereas the Book of Kings talks about the political situation, the Chronicle books approach the history from the perspectives of the priests. So why did the Jewish people refer to the Old Testament as the Tanakh? Well, it's because of those 3 parts. The Torah, T-A, the Nevi'im, N-A, and the Ketuvim, K-H. So you put that together and you get Tanakh. That was the Old Testament. Of course, they didn't have a New Testament. They don't believe in it. So there is no Old Testament for them. Then we got the New Testament. Now, the New Testament consists out of 27 books. The first 4 books are the 4 Gospels. They deal with the life of Christ. I really recommend that you watch this short video about the difference in the 4 Gospels. Then the next book is the book of Acts, which deals with the early church history. Then there are 13 books which are written by the Apostle Paul. He wrote instructions to 7 churches. Then he also wrote instructions to Timothy, Titus, and Philemon. Then we got the book of Hebrews. Many people believe that Paul wrote this book, but we don't know for sure. But that has instructions for Jewish believers. After this, there were 7 very short books written by James, John, Peter, and Jude. Finally, we got the book of Revelation, written by the Apostle John. Revelation 1 verse 19 is a key verse of the book. We can see that the book is about the past, things which were, chapter 1, the present, the 7 churches that John wrote to. Yes, both Paul and John each wrote to 7 churches. And you can find that in chapters 2 and 3, and the future, chapters 4 through 22. I hope this helped you. Be sure to watch this video next to really get a good overview of the four Gospels. God bless you. Bye-bye.